you've been injured in an accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the advocates can help. Speaking with an attorney is simple and 100% free. We're available 24/7 for your convenience, and we'll take on the claims process so you can rest easy. Because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show, live on Wednesday, January 29th, 2025, is UNLV headed to the Pac-12. What's going on with the Pac-12 television deal, media rights distribution? We have a bit of an exclusive detail nugget about what the Pac-12 is trying to do and what they have done. Does UNLV solve the problems of the Pac-12? And here's a question. I know it's crazy. Is UNLV available? I know. Everybody thinks they know. I don't know what they know that you don't know about what we know and they don't know. You know what I mean? See what I did? Okay, the Monty Show is always presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Just give me, throw in like a courtesy chuckle sometimes so I feel better about myself.
Yeah, right.
The Advocates at theadvocates.com. You can talk to an injury attorney 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime. Get clear, risk-free advice anytime, any place. That's what you get from the Advocates. There's no big consultation fees. There are no, retainers. No, you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. What that means is they win your case, you get a settlement. That's how you pay the Advocates. You never reach into your pocket. You need to worry about getting back healthy, getting back to work. Whatever the situation might be, let the Advocates fight with the insurance company. Let the Advocates worry about, hey, am I going to get back pay when I get back to work? Yeah, if you get hurt at work, do they have to pay you? Let the Advocates fight that battle. Clear, risk-free advice, no matter where you are. Hello, San Diego. Hello, Las Vegas. Brand new offices for the Advocates in Southern California, in Las Vegas. Of course, you know about Phoenix, Utah, Nevada. Boise is in Nebraska.
And stuff.
Idaho, Montana, everywhere you are. That's where the Advocates are at theadvocates.com. All right, let's get into it with UNLV and the Pac-12, because I think there's been a lot of hyperbole, and I don't think it's accidental. Teresa Gould, you may or may not know the commissioner of the Pac-12, Teresa Gould, at the college football playoff final, pretty much met with every TV network executive that she could get an appointment with. She has been having ongoing conversations about trying to put a deal together. And it is very clear at this point, after talking to people in the industry over the last several days, and I think that's an important point. Buzz has been building. And usually, hey, we'll ask about the Pac-12 once a month. Well, we do rounds of phone calls or text messages or emails with sources, let's say. We'll ask about the Pac-12. There's not a lot going on. But when you have major football groupings, the college football playoff, and you have Teresa Gould going to those events, meeting with TV executives, the buzz kind of spools up, right? So when you think about these situations, we've heard that Teresa Gould had high-level meetings with TV executives at the college football playoff final. Nothing fruitful came from those conversations. It's not like she was like, well, hey, give us $50 million, we'll give you UNLV. That's not how those conversations are going. In fact, from what our sources in the TV industry are telling us, there is no traditional TV deal in place. The closest thing that the Pac-12 has to a TV deal at this moment is the CW essentially saying, hey, we're happy to keep going with the Pac-12 and all of its members at the rates that we've already negotiated with the Pac-12. There is no cash windfall coming from cable or network television. But what we are hearing is that the Pac-12 is looking at building what's called a fast channel network, which is where you say, hey, here's the Pac-12 network, but it's on Amazon, it's on Fire TVs, it's on the Roku channel, it's on all of your free ad-supported TV, otherwise known as fast channels. And there are networks. Amazon's got a network. Pretty much everybody's got a fast channel network. Vizio, Samsung, LG, all of the big ones, all of the people who build your televisions. You know how it is. If you turn on a TV, you get an entertainment menu. And if you search Pac-12, they would have a channel that would come up. So let's say that Oregon State and Washington State were playing football and you wanted to watch that game, you would simply go to Samsung, go to the main menu and search Pac-12, and the Pac-12 channel would show up and you'd be able to watch that game. That's the nuts and bolts of how a fast channel works. The only problem with that is most manufacturers and what's called tier one fast channel providers do not pay you a fee to have your content on their platform. It's a revenue share. So there is no big money up front for the Pac-12 in that order. So what most people in the TV industry think is going to happen is that there will be a deal with the CW, most likely, or somebody else. And largely, all of the revenue that the Pac-12 will make on its media deal will come from viewership, sharing of revenue from ads with platforms, and a small part of streaming. If you're UNLV, is that an attractive enough package to get you to leave the Mountain West? And when I say leave the Mountain West, let's get something very, very clear. There was a memo of understanding that was drafted and signed by all of the Mountain West members, including UNLV, who recommitted to stay in the league. That memo of understanding is binding. In fact, it says right on the memo of understanding, this is a binding agreement between the parties. So when I say, is UNLV going to leave? Is UNLV going to begin litigation to get itself out of the memo of understanding that, according to our sources, they have signed knowingly, without duress, when they had another avenue, because they had an invitation from the Pac-12, they chose to sign that memo of understanding, knowing it was binding. And Jake, I just don't see what the value proposition is for UNLV to leave the Mountain West and go to the Pac-12.
Yeah, and it's the same question we've been asking for months now. I mean, the first time we ever talked about this new Pac-12 conference, you know, the new shiny car in the conversation, my first question was, what's the upside potential here? What is the story the Pac-12 is telling everybody in the room as to why this should move forward? So, you know, if Teresa Gould is going to potential TV partners, you know, at any of these meetings, is she saying that, oh, well, you know, our path is, hey, we're going to get back to P4 status, we're going to add membership to do that, you know, and then we need a TV deal to do that, and you can be that person, and you can broadcast our games and a ton of people are going to watch, even though we don't have a major market and even though we don't have a power brand, right? Like, so if you can't get the TV deal side done, then how can you make yourself more attractive? Okay, well, let's go to the AAC schools. Let's go to UNLV. Let's go to, you know, schools that maybe have some more power in the conversation or give us more leverage and try to get them to join the conference. Well, if you're UNLV or if you're any of the schools that have been talked about in this conversation, what's the value proposition? So let me get this right. There's no TV deal done. You've now gone from, hey, we're going to get a TV deal done. The Pac-12 is amazing. It just signed, sealed, and delivered. It's done. To now we're talking about fast channels to put your live broadcast on. Yeah. I hope people understand this. The Amazon Prime itself, like the way they do Thursday Night Football, that's not a fast channel. I hope you understand that. You're paying a subscription fee to get Amazon Prime Video or access to it. Fast channels are like when you go and buy a new Samsung TV or a new, you know, any TV provider, Samsung, LG, like you guys know all the different providers. They come pre-cooked with a whole slate of channels. And the Pac-12 is saying, hey, we want to partner with that type of situation. That's how far the value has fallen. So my main point in this has always been, and no one's ever been able to answer the question, hey, what is the great thing the Pac-12 is selling that everybody should just get behind with all their money and all their effort? Because I don't see it. You don't have access to the college football playoff. You don't have access to more money than people are already making. And your relevancy as a conference is next to none. So
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
I think that's a very good question. What is if we look down the road and let's say 12 months from now, when we are heading for a new Pac-12 and a new Mountain West and all of that rearranging of the chairs on the Titanic, because I'm going to be honest with you, you look at this slate, you look at what's in the Mountain West, I don't think either one of these conferences has a significant advantage over the other. I think they are very similar, and I'll go back to what I have said from day one when the Pac-12 originally melted down. The Mountain West and the Pac-12 need to merge. They cost each other money, and you look at this slate of teams right here, there is not a big advantage over the Mountain West. And I think the same thing that I've thought from the beginning, a TV guy yesterday told me straight up, UNLV is absolutely the cornerstone of anything financial for the Pac-12. They've got to find a way to get UNLV to have relevance, because this is a guy, and I want you to understand this. This individual that I spoke to yesterday, that I have talked to on a regular basis, who's never steered me wrong in all of these media rights conversations we've had. What's missing on this graphic right here? Including San Diego. What's missing on this graphic? A major market. And when you look at Las Vegas, which you may know this or may not, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas is based in Las Vegas.
No.
I know, crazy. Las Vegas is becoming a major media and entertainment hub on the West Coast because so many people are leaving Hollywood and Los Angeles, and a lot of them have ended up buying and building multi-million-dollar homes on the outskirts of Las Vegas. We were just there several weeks ago.
Summerlin's popping.
Summerlin, Lake Las Vegas. Like, you look around and you start to see that the major players are no longer exclusively in Los Angeles. And about San Diego, San Diego's not a major television market. It is one of the smaller engagement markets, because one of the things that I think is really interesting, as it's been explained to me, as we move away from Dish Network putting a dish on your house or in your backyard, or DirecTV, and we move to, let me plug in my internet cable so I can stream, right? Because you're not watching TV the way you used to.
Right.
One of the things that these TV networks are able to truly measure now, more than they ever have before, is engagement per zip code. What zip codes are actually tuning into their product, their shows, their games, their news channels at a level we've never been able to do this before. We've never been able to get in the butthole of people watching TV and know exactly what are they watching, how long are they watching, how are they watching it. Are they watching it, like, if you're like us, and I think you still are on YouTube TV.
Yeah.
If you're like us on a Saturday afternoon with football, you flip on YouTube TV. Is he watching it in a 4-pack? Is he watching NFL Sunday Ticket with one game only on the screen? How long is he watching that game? Which games is he flipping back and forth to?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you my setup is like in the high time of college football, when we've got a lot of different games on and there's a lot of flipping around that happens and a lot of games you want to pay attention to at once. I can tell you, I've got my TV set up, and usually I'm not a huge 4-pack guy. Like, I prefer to just flip between the
My
games.
wife hates that.
Yeah, I'm not a huge
She
4-pack
hates that.
person. Just because I feel like, and this may seem 1%-ish, if you will, but you bought a big TV. I want the whole screen, right? Like, I want to be able to watch the game in detail and enjoy the setup. So I'll flip on YouTube TV. I'll go through the games, but then I've also got my computer that I can access YouTube TV on while I have YouTube TV on my TV, and I can double screen essentially.
I can tell you, I have watched games on TV. I'm an iPad person.
Yeah.
I have an iPad Pro that I use for the show. I will watch a game on the iPad Pro while I can tell you with Utah and BYU playing in separate games. I've absolutely watched Utah on the TV or on the iPad. But why all that matters is that's currency now. If you are the Mountain West and you can say, hey, look at our viewership on linear TV. Here we are digitally. Here's how many people watched on a TV, on a phone, on a tablet. They watch for this. It matters. And San Diego does not deliver that viewership.
Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles, yes. Like Fresno State, all the Fresno State fans who get pissed off. You don't deliver that media market. There's not a huge demand for Ford Motor Company to advertise in Fresno.
Right.
That's the issue that the Pac-12 is facing. And I know Pac-12 fan, you're going to get pissed off and you're going to type in all caps and you're angry. Totally get it. But I'm going to ask you again, what really separates you from the Mountain West? And my answer is nothing. And if you want to cripple the Mountain West, yes, you should absolutely be going after UNLV, who I think is an incredibly important media asset.
Yeah.
If UNLV leaves the Mountain West fails to exist, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that the Pac-12 has made, and this is my opinion, right? I think that the Pac-12 has made a couple of key mistakes in how they judge the situation. So if we go all the way back to like when this conversation started, like, last summer, right? Hey, the Pac-12 melted down, the Big 12 exodus, the Big 10 exodus, like when that whole thing happened, right then and there, the leadership in the Pac-12 needed to make a decision about how they wanted to go back or get themselves back, which was going to be, are we relaunching this conference or going to try to, or are we going to do everything we can do to merge with the Mountain West? Those were your two logical paths based on where you were located geographically. You weren't going to say to yourself, yeah, let's merge with the ACC. That doesn't work, right? That, like, it made more sense to merge with the Mountain West and to try to create a dominant West Coast brand. But what their error was is thinking that, hey, we can go in and put up a facade to the Mountain West saying, yeah, we're going to merge and we're not going to poach your schools. And then you went ahead and you poached the schools, and now you've hit a wall because you did that. That hurt your image. And I can't emphasize this enough. Like, I'm not saying fast channels are bad, right? Fast channels are an amazing advent in our space, right? In media consumption and how the consumer, watches things. Like for talk shows, for episodic TV, fast channels are one of the best things that's ever been invented. For live sporting events, fast channels don't work that way, mainly because the whole emphasis of a football game is it's live. It's happening now. We want to see it as it goes down. I want to see, Dalton Kincaid drop that football. I'm not going to go back and watch that game 10 hours later after I've seen the highlight on Twitter 50 times.
Right.
Like that. So this whole idea that the Pac-12 is like, hey, we're going to get into the fast channel space, that doesn't make sense to me.
I think the thing you have to do here, first of all, separate Boise. Separate Boise's on-field ability, prowess, value. Are they a media rights juggernaut? They are not. They've never been a media rights juggernaut. Have they been an on-field success? Unequivocally. But you have to take them in two different ways here. As a TV market or a media rights property, they're not valuable. They're not helping you. They don't draw huge numbers. And I think when you really nail this down to brass tacks, these two leagues need to merge, period. End of story.
Yeah.
These two leagues need to merge. And we can keep going back to these lawsuits and, the memo of understanding. Pac-12 fans keep saying we're going to get Memphis. I got news for you. I talked to a guy on Monday who said straight up Memphis and everybody else in the AAC is in a ironclad agreement to stay in that league.
Yeah.
That it would be World War III in litigation to get members out of the AAC. Straight up. And that has not changed since those universities recommitted to that league. The Mountain West is built on UNLV right now, because even the universities that they've added, whether it's UTEP or NIU as a football member, like UNLV is what is holding this league together. And if UNLV goes, that's a problem. And if we focus specifically on UNLV, I'm just going to tell you, there's not a real value proposition today for UNLV to leave the Mountain West and go to the Pac-12. What is the upside there?
Yeah.
Because they will have to pay an exit fee. They will likely, if they go to the Pac-12, that would trigger more poaching fees. And as we've told you from day one, nobody suing the Mountain West believes that they're going to go into a courtroom and adjudicate this thing and come out with a win. There's zero precedent for that. It's never happened in the history of contracts in professional sports. You've never seen a university, especially in college, you've never seen a university sue a league to get out of that league and successfully win that case.
Right.
Florida State, the ACC, the Pac-12, you name it. This is a lever that these universities are pulling to try and save a dollar. And maybe they will. I'm telling you now, I've heard repeatedly the Mountain West is not going to settle with the Pac-12 on poaching fees. They're not, and nor should they. Nor should they. Will they settle the exit fee stuff and take $2 million less from every school leaving? Potentially. But if you are the Pac-12, you right now are in hope. You right now are in dreamland because you have nothing solid. You don't have a TV deal. We are, in my opinion, here we sit on January 29th. I think we are a month away, weeks away. One of the TV guys I spoke to yesterday, she told me straight up, I have not heard anything about them being close. There are conversations. They are not close. I think they are probably a month away from making a media rights decision. And the biggest problem is they remain in this really difficult spot in the Pac-12 of the horse or the cart, which one goes first? Okay, we got UNLV. Let's go get a media rights deal. Well, do you have media? Okay, so let's say that you get UNLV to leave the conference. You're going to have to go through a lawsuit, another court case, more legal fees. Because remember, let's say that you settle these exit fees and you save $10 million. Are you really saving $10 million? And I think this is a really important point. What did we learn about Florida State and Clemson? They've paid so much to the lawyers, man.
Yeah.
And they are likely not ever going to recoup that money. Is the Pac-12 in a position where they can afford to dump money on top of money, which is bad money on top of bad money, into the fire on legal fees to sue and continue to sue and fight? Because I would tell you there's no way they can afford to keep doing that.
I mean, I don't think, that they can afford to continue on this pace for years on end. I mean, at some point you're going to have to actually start like making legitimate, tangible money here.
But how are you as a TV provider, even ESPN Plus, who has told the Pac-12, we want your product, not for television, for ESPN Plus, for the digital, the app. Direct. Don't forget what's happening in before football season kicks off next year. In this August, ESPN is scheduled to go direct to consumers, which means you don't have to have cable or satellite. You can subscribe directly to Disney and have all of ESPN and Disney product. That is coming. This venue sports thing that we talked about.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, and I hate saying this part out loud, Jake was right, was never going to happen. Where you had all sports from all networks on one app, completely fell apart. And one of the main reasons is they all knew ESPN and Disney are going direct to consumer, and you're going to get a bundle that's going to include Hulu, which I was informed is massive apparently with millennials. Do you use Hulu?
I don't.
Apparently, millennials use Hulu like it's nobody's business. But you're going to get in the fall the ability to subscribe to ESPN and not have to have a cable provider. Like if I want to watch ESPN Plus right now, I have to log in through YouTube TV because you have to have a television provider to watch anything on the ESPN app. You have to have a television provider and you have to log in. Coming in the fall, I will no longer have to do that. I'll just subscribe to ESPN and I will be able to watch it directly on my phone, tablet, TV, anywhere I want, because unlike the Pac-12, what happens? Have you guys thought about this? And you probably haven't because everybody has pronounced ESPN as dead. What happens every time somebody buys a Samsung TV? What happens every time somebody subscribes to Amazon Fire, the Amazon Fire TV service? ESPN gets, I think from Amazon, they get $12. From Samsung, they get $25 because ESPN's baked in all those TVs. And one of the main things that happens is, well, I'm going to sign into ESPN on my TV. What do they immediately make you do? Create an account. That's what the Pac-12 is going to have to figure out. How do I make that value proposition? And I'm telling you right now, whether you want to agree with me or not, that's fine. This isn't going to make me, if I'm Samsung, LG, again, Roku, Amazon, this roster right here is not going to make me pay you $25 per subscriber.
Nope.
It's not going to happen. And if you add UNLV to this, I'm still not paying you $25 per subscriber.
That's what I'm saying. Like this whole concept, everyone all over the place is all hot to trot over this fast channel concept for the Pac-12. Like fast channels are hot right now, 100%. There's a lot of people leveraging them.
And
it's a
live
great
sports,
thing.
Live sports is huge. And I think, and I don't know what you think, I think if you went to any major fast channel provider, Plex, Samsung, whoever, and said, hey, we're the Pac-12. We want you to carry our fast channel. And we're going to have live basketball, football, softball, baseball, track.
Yeah, you want to do it that way, that's fine. But
they're gonna say, yeah, absolutely. Come on, let's go. And they're willing to split the revenue with you. How you make money on a fast channel is you say, okay, we're on Amazon Freevee, or we're on Roku channel, or that platform, Roku channel or whoever, will give you 50% of the ads that are played on your channel. 50% of the ad revenue will go to the platform. The other 50% goes to the provider.
Mm-hmm.
Is that is that enough? Is that $10 million a year per school?
No,
it's not. Is that $5 million a year per school?
No.
If you got 10 schools, you think you're making $50 million?
You would have to have every single fast channel working with you.
You're not. And I think it's tough. The bottom line here is, I don't believe that UNLV is a position where they can just walk away. They signed a memo of understanding that is binding. They signed it without duress. They signed it with all the facts laid out on the table. Everybody in that league signed it, and they agree that it is binding. That right there is going to make it very expensive for UNLV to move. And again, I'm even expecting it. Help me understand. What is the value proposition for UNLV to join the Pac-12?
Yeah.
What is the huge upside potential?
Yeah, I don't think there is one. Not right now. And until there is one, I don't know that change that, I don't know that you can improve your situation.
Yeah. All right. Coming up in 30 minutes, we'll talk about Michigan cheating. Michigan admitted that there was a sign stealing operation. Does that taint their championship from last year? I think it is a huge question. And we'll see. All right, let's go back to the top. First one's in. Brian K. Breesy. PAC has completely botched their rebuilding effort. I think they've gotten it wrong. I would agree with that.
I mean, I don't think that they, I don't think that there was a time when there was one step of the process that they just completely messed up. I think from the whole the decision to to go into the Mountain West and poach teams, it was always going to make it really hard for you to do anything you wanted to do. And that's from that decision forward, you've made it exponentially harder. If you would have just put your pride aside and said, hey, we need to merge and we can be a dominant conference from the South all the way to the North on the West Coast, that would have worked. You can do a TV deal on that. But the idea that you thought that you could go in and steal these schools and try to do your own thing, that to me was always, a futile idea.
You've got to find a way, in my opinion, to merge these two leagues. It is the only thing. It's the only thing that makes any sense at all.
But what would be required for that to happen? Teresa Gould and all those old heads in the Pac-12 would have to put their pride aside and allow the Mountain West leadership to run the conference.
Yeah,
that's never going to happen.
I think Gloria Navarez is a superior administrator to Teresa Gould. And you're seeing the bravado of the Pac-12 has not left.
Yeah.
It's not business as usual. I think Teresa's actually done a really nice job of flying under the radar and not talking about her business, but just doing her business.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this league needs.
Yeah, we haven't had any viral podcast clips with her.
And we talked about it yesterday, and I know it's controversial. You guys don't agree with me. The Pac-12, A, should never have gone away, but B, was arguably the best football league in the country the last 2 years of its existence. And I know you think I'm crazy. Go back and look at the numbers, right? For everything business-wise, and this is why you got to separate the two. On the field, the Pac-12 was a fantastic football league. It was really, really good. Big games. October and November, stocked with big games. You had the Oregons, the SCs, Utahs. Like, it mattered that you were going to the Rose Bowl. This league fell on top of itself because of how much stupidity and how much crap you stacked on top of your roof. You just collapsed on top of yourself.
Yeah.
And it should have never happened. Don't make that mistake again. Merge with the Mountain West. You've got to do that. This idea, these lawsuits, I cannot tell you how incredibly damaging suing the Mountain West to eliminate poaching fees. It made the Pac-12 a laughingstock. How many people have we talked to behind the scenes who have said, isn't this exactly who the Pac-12 is?
Yes.
They made an agreement with the Mountain West who said, yes, we want to help you. We'll facilitate football scheduling for you. We are here for you. But don't come and decimate our league. And what's the exact thing that the Pac-12 did?
Yep.
And now they're suing to try and avoid paying those fees. It's business as usual.
That's what I'm saying. How do you get to the end?
I don't know. What is the best case scenario?
Yeah. How do you get to,
I don't know.
Sustainability? Like, because that's the thing that I think nobody really wants to admit here. This conference is not a conference yet. Are we all on the same page with that? You can put out graphics. You can create Twitter accounts or relaunch Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
You're not a viable, actually up and running and alive with a heartbeat conference right now. You're not.
Look at Mike Smith going gangster on us. Will Phil Venzer be happy or his normal crabby complaining self? Mike, I love you, Mike. That's exactly right.
Sorry, folks. That's what it is.
Where is Phil Venzer this morning? Real Pete Forte, hello. Lopes fan Gabe, yes, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Hey, if you're watching on Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, wherever you are, please come to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Welcome to the nightmare. Good morning, guys. If you're watching, hit the thumbs up. Yes, please.
Do it.
Matt, hello. Big John, yes, we will get to Michigan. I'm certain you're right. Yes, there it is right there. Big John is here to talk about the Michigan cheating scandal. Yes, we will get there. Bronco McFord.
Suh, dude.
Mountain West is toast. I don't think it is. I think UNLV is a tipping point. There is absolutely no doubt about it. In a league now that's been decimated by the Pac-12 taking the Fresnos and the Boise States as a sports league, the Mountain West has been decimated. If they were to lose UNLV, I don't know how they move forward.
Yeah, but the reality of the situation is everyone wants to say, oh, well, the Mountain West is in such a bad spot. The Pac-12 took their schools. I got news for you. All you Pac-12 supporters who want to hate on the Mountain West, sure, you may have some bigger nameplates, if you will, compared to what the Mountain West has, but the Mountain West has a TV deal. The Mountain West has income.
The Mountain West
has revenue.
Has relationships to get a new TV deal.
By the way, this great Boise State appearance in the college football playoff with, everyone's All-American Ashton Jeanty, that's all going to the Mountain West.
Yes,
not the Pac-12.
Correct. Welcome to the nightmare. Hello. End Donuts. PAC smokes the Mountain West. G5 will go through the PAC. Again, separate what's on the field from what's going on in the boardroom. The business of a G5 conference, there's only one result that wins, and that is these two leagues merge. I will continue to say that. Said it from day one. They had a framework agreement in place, and the Pac-12 got greedy. The Pac-12 wants to control it.
Yeah, they got selfish.
And I think it's a huge mistake.
Yeah, and again, we need to reiterate what you said about 20 minutes ago at the beginning of the conversation. We're not having this conversation from the standpoint of on-field performance. You guys need to understand that. I'm not when I'm talking about like reliability and who's in a better spot. I don't care that Boise State's a great football team right now because it's irrelevant to the conversation we're having.
It's not making you money.
Yeah, we're not having a conversation about like, hey, which conference is getting to the college football playoff more? You're not getting to the college football playoff at all if you can't add in a football school and add opportunity.
But wait, it doesn't matter if you get to the college football playoff because what does CBS and FS1 and CBS Sports Network, FS1, TNT, who is said to be really thirsty for live college sports. Do they make money on the college football playoff? No, they don't. Who's got the college football playoff? ESPN has it. They make money in August, in September, in October, in November. That's when they make their money. They don't care if you make the college football playoff. They care if you can bring viewership to their television network during the regular season. They care if your basketball product, and this is where the Pac-12 really has to, again, I tell you, get your ass in gear. They care if your basketball product is worthy.
Yeah.
That's what they care about because those are regular season games. That's what the TV deals are about. And Pac-12 fan, again, I'm talking directly to you. It doesn't matter if Boise State goes to the college football playoff every single year. That has no bearing on your regular season media rights deal.
Yeah.
None. Because Boise's not a big enough market. You combine Boise and Fresno, do you get Las Vegas? No. And part of UNLV's win here is it's not even that a ton of people watch UNLV. That's not even the issue. One of the big wins for UNLV is Allegiant Stadium. One of the big wins for UNLV is branding opportunities. One of the big wins for UNLV is, hey, we can have our championship game in Las Vegas brought to you by M Life.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Bonvoy. Because you're in a market that is an entertainment mecca. That's why it's not that 1 million plus people watch UNLV every week because they don't.
Yeah.
But I really want you to look at this from a practical perspective. Separate the boardroom from the locker room.
Yeah.
What's happening on the field is not how you are negotiating a TV rights deal. Not at this level. If you're Alabama, well, hey, when we play Georgia every year, okay, that's a different story.
Yeah, different conversation.
Yeah, because now we're talking about 10 million people. Now we're talking about big numbers. We're talking about huge branding opportunities and games played in October that draw as much as games played in November and December. Regular season Michigan, Ohio State is going to outdraw Jimmy's Butthole Cream Bowl.
Right.
Right? That's where you're in a different place with the Big Ten's deal, or hell, the SEC's deal for sure. It's what's always separated the classes in the P4s. The problem is when you're at the G5 level, you're not selling huge viewership in October. You're not. And so when you say, well, we're going to the power, the G5's running through the Pac-12. Congratulations. What does that mean to CBS Sports Network? Nothing. That's what, and I want people to understand. And maybe Notre Dame's a great example of this. Why does Notre Dame make $50, $60 million a year upcoming in their new TV deal? Why were they making $20+ million a year on their current TV deal? Because everybody watches Notre Dame football.
Yeah.
It's what you do on a Saturday afternoon if you live in the Midwest. Again, I grew up as a kid watching Notre Dame football. They play in big games. You're watching Notre Dame, Texas A&M. That's a massive brand that brings millions and millions of people to the yard. When you have USC and LSU at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, tons of people watch, tons of people go. That's a big-time TV game. Boise State and Fresno State, that's not a big-time TV game. Blue turf and all.
Yeah.
UW fan Jim, Washington State fans and alum live in the greater Seattle area. It's a pretty good market. Okay, so I ask you, do you really think when you're sitting across the table from a TV executive that Washington State is selling Seattle as a TV market?
No.
I think they'd like to. If Seattle is such a power market, why has the Pac-12 never been able to leverage it to get a TV deal? Even when you had UW. Washington State. Again, this has been a huge argument. I say this with Boise State fans. You're all playing in the same pool. You're small media properties. You're not a big media property.
There's so much pride from fans, dude.
It's wild. D-Rock, on Saturdays, my cable subscription allows me to watch. Okay, cool. That's amazing. Who plays? Let me just ask you, who plays on the CW? I don't know. Who plays on NBC? Notre Dame. The Big Ten. Big Ten Saturday night. Here comes Saturday night, or whatever the hell the song says. You know, oh, look, Phil Venzer's here. Are you angry today? UNLV and Vegas want to be a national brand. Coach Mullen, I getting a $3.5 million contract twice than the second highest paid coach in the country.
Again, it doesn't matter.
Nobody's arguing that UNLV is some huge brand. UNLV is not a national brand. Let's just get that straight right now. UNLV's entire value is based upon the explosion of Las Vegas as an entertainment mecca. That is the entirety, because nobody has any idea how many people know who the head football coach at UNLV is. I would say not half of this audience does.
Again, nobody's saying they suck. That's not what we're saying.
Who's the head football coach at Notre Dame? Who's the head football coach at any P4 program? You probably know who it is. Who's the head football coach at Alabama? Okay, different story. Who's the head football coach who's a mid-table, low-table team in the Big Ten? Who's the head football coach at Washington? You have to think about it for a second. Well, Jed Fish. Who's the head football coach at Illinois? Who's the head football coach at Rutgers?
Mm-hmm.
The difference is they're in the Big Ten and they're in New Jersey. And does Illinois deliver Chicago? No. But a lot of people know that Brett Bielema is the head coach at Illinois.
Yeah.
Not many people know who the head coach at UNLV is. And it's not that you're being downgraded or disrespected. We deal in reality. We don't deal in emotion. And the reality is, when you're sitting across the table negotiating a TV deal, if you're the Mountain West, you are absolutely selling Las Vegas. You're going to have your championship there, and headquarters are going to move there.
I also think with Las Vegas, like one piece that I think a lot of people don't consider is that, like, if you think about if someone walks into downtown Boise, right, versus walking into Allegiant on the doorstep of Vegas right there. Obviously Boise is a great little city, right?
Yes.
It's a great little city, went through its real estate boom, like some great things happened there. Then some people left, but it's not like you walk into that city and you're like, man, like this city is just teeming with ad dollars and, marketing opportunities. Whereas when you walk into Las Vegas, the whole damn town is built on marketing.
That's it.
I mean, quite literally, you're talking about a town that was literally put on the face of the earth to have hotels and entertainment. That's the whole thing. That's its genesis.
It wasn't put there for hotels and entertainment. It was put there for hookers and gambling. That's what, right? Now we've morphed from one building in the middle of like a sandstorm to the entertainment mecca of the West Coast.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, so many people that lived in the Palisades in Los Angeles, those people were Hollywood heavyweights. And a lot of them are not going to stay in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are going to move to Las Vegas. Las Vegas is phenomenal right now. You want to rent something or you want to buy something? Good luck. You want to go see a show? You want to go see one of the best hockey venues in the country? You want to go see a big college football game?
You want to eat some damn good food? Like,
Las Vegas has value. It's not UNLV's football coach. With all due respect, Phil, that's not how it works as much as you'd like to. Greg Schiano. Yeah. Plus, B. Lamont has a hot wife. That helps too.
Well,
okay?
I mean, if that's a consideration.
Mike Smith, Vegas has always been an entertainment area. They just exploded in sports market now. I think it is impressive.
I just think it's really easy in Vegas for someone to look at Vegas who's not affiliated with UNLV, right? Like a TV executive at one of the, the CBSs of the world, or whichever one you want to look at. I think it's really easy to say, hey, like, bro, this is Las Vegas. It's exploding. It's growing exponentially. And we can put ad dollars into football games in Vegas and build relationships and make more money through that town. And I don't think anyone, again, with all due respect, no one's saying that about like Boise or San Diego or Fresno, or like, you're not. That's why Vegas is key to everything that happens.
Well,
and they should just merge. Like, that's what you should do between these two.
I was just going to say, again, you're making my point.
Yeah.
The Mountain West and the Pac-12 need to merge. Neither one of them is a phenomenal anything. The Pac-12, in my opinion, has screwed this up so badly. And you got all of these members from the Mountain West to come over. What did you really gain?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm still trying to understand, like, what is any different here? Like, all you've done, like, not to diminish it, but you've just done some paperwork here. That's it. Like, you've just got some agreements, and you haven't figured out the exit fee situation. You haven't figured out a TV deal.
You're paying lawyers.
Like, I'm sorry. I just am not. Like, everyone says I'm so harsh about the Pac-12. Maybe I am, but I don't see the silver lining here. I don't see some pot at the end of the rainbow here for the Pac-12. And I wish I did. I wish we could sit here and be like, yeah, the Pac-12 is doing great business, and, they're going to be the best G5 conference in the country. And, Teresa Gould and Gloria Nevarez are putting their heads together, and this is all working great.
Do you understand that the media rights deal that a Pac-12 Mountain West joint venture could draw? They would all make more money. Exponentially more money, in fact. A lot more money, in fact. But I don't know. It's frustrating to me that the Pac-12 melted down in the first place because it never had to happen. That was a great
But
league.
Again, the source of all these problems, even today, is their pride.
Yes,
They
Mike.
will not set their pride aside.
Yes, the Pac-12 was its own worst enemy.
Yes.
I think, and I want to run through some comments here because I know I appreciate everybody commenting on the show. Again, please hit the like button. This is business as usual. And let's say the Pac-12 gets UNLV. What is still your best upside here? What is the best pot? Do you really think you're getting $15 million, $20 million per school? You're not. You're not. There is no, as you said, pot of gold. I would go as far as to say there's no win here other than existence. There's no win here.
Yeah.
I as surely as I can tell you, they're never going to be a power league again. Not with this grouping. I would assume you're going to expand with Texas State. I would assume you're going to expand with Sacramento State because Sacramento State's a great property. They've shown you that they're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so you're adding these schools, but there's no pot of gold at the end of the Pac-12 rainbow. Even if you win all these lawsuits,
Nothing to get behind.
you're not. It's just I don't know
Not
what
yet,
you're working
anyway.
for. And I just think when you're asking FCS teams to jump up to FBS and you've got to pay the fee and you've got to expand, it's a really tough road to hoe. So for the next 5 years, let's say you get the Dakota schools and you get Sac State and Texas State. How many of them are going to be relevant inside of your conference? It's going to be very difficult. Where are you going to get basketball wins from? That's going to be really difficult. You have to have more than Gonzaga win basketball games. It's vitally important. It is a financial lifeline. And if you can keep San Diego State moving in that direction, great. But you've got to get Fresno State, Boise State. You've got to get this entire grouping of teams and essentially follow the SEC model, because if you don't see what I've been telling you about SEC basketball, yes, they make a ton of money on football. But why is the SEC still as a business? Take what you think about Greg Sankey and on the field. Why is the business model really starting to thrive in the SEC now? Because they're a dominant basketball property who makes a ton of money in football. It's the one crutch that the Big Ten has right now, is that the Big Ten is not a good basketball product right now.
Right.
Thank you, Juwan Howard.
Yeah.
It is not a good basketball product right now. They've got to get UCLA, USC. They've got to get their programs back. I cannot tell you that Caleb Love shot the other night and his performance, huge for the Big 12.
Program.
Huge, 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 especially with the ACC absolutely crapping itself in basket. What are you, can somebody help me with? Again, in the parlance of, I have nothing good in sports. Somebody hit Hubert Davis in the face with a 2x4, please. Don't actually do that proverbially. How do you lose to Pitt? Anyway.
Brutal.
Mike Smith, Sankey is like an evil mastermind from the Bond movies. Man, that guy makes money. That dude just makes money. Wasakowskinator, Boise State versus North Dakota State rivalry would be interesting. Listen, I think it's one of the paths forward for the Pac-12. Get the Dakota schools.
Yeah.
Get the Dakota schools. You got to do it. The PAC has no pot of gold. They barely have a pot to piss in at this point. That's correct. Jackrabbits, bison, and grizzlies. Oh, my. Maji says Boise State. Okay,
wow,
cool.
Thank you. That was, man, just such a scintillating comment there, you know?
Wasakowski, I still believe adding North Dakota State would be an opportunity for playoff access. But so what, on what level? On what level?
He's just saying North Dakota State in the Pac-12 would be able to compete to get into the college football playoff, which again just doesn't matter in this conversation.
I think that's that's my point. But how does that help you? You've got to, and I think if we learned anything about lesser teams this year, you've got to win a game to make money. Look at all the Look at all the money that you saw in the college football playoff.
Yep.
Look at how much money Ohio State made the Big Ten. Now, obviously, so did Penn State. Look at the SEC, $20 million behind. Look at Notre Dame. No, Monty, Notre Dame needs to join a conference.
No, well, Monties.
And then you have the Big 12, the Mountain West, and the ACC. How did the ACC not win a game?
Yeah.
So it's cool that you showed up, but if you want to make real money, if you want to make real money, you got to find schools that can win games in the playoff.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, that's right. None of that matters when it comes to a TV deal. None of it matters. None at all. Jimmy Otson, we know the head football coach at mid-ACC and Big 12 schools, too. Boise is the only G5 coach that I know. And there's good coaches.
Yeah.
There are great coaches.
But it just proves the point of, like, hey, you're not watching. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Your East Coast football fan didn't watch Boise State every week.
I would agree with that. All right, a couple more. Check it out. Says TBM said Pac-12 will be making moves soon. I don't know who TBM is.
Yeah, who's TBM?
No idea who that is. John Jackson, do we need to clean up how the divisions are created, and should it change based on skill level each year? I don't believe that it should. I think what needs to be cleaned up is the bye structure. I agree. Hey, all right, top 12 teams, you're all in the college football playoff. Okay, great. Take that pot of 12, the G5, Notre Dame, take that pot of 12 teams and seed them
Every week.
And strength of schedule has to be one of the top components to seeding. Period. Mario edits. Not sure the Dakota schools add value to either conference. I don't think they do. Not in a TV sense. Ohio. OHIO-YMCA.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Yo. What's up? Mike Smith. Time for the Michigan cheating admission portion of the show.
Just hang on.
2 minutes
3
away.
minutes,
Maji. They just have to invest in their football program. That's why the SEC is dominant. They invest heavily and focus on developing players. The SEC is dominant because they get the benefit of the doubt every single day. Every single day, right? The Big Ten is dominant because they get the benefit of the doubt.
And look at where they're located. I also think this is a huge portion of the Pac-12 conversation. They're located on the East Coast and in the Midwest. Everybody watches their games because it's not midnight when you're trying to watch a game.
Yeah. And this has always been the problem with California.
Yeah.
Right? California sucks, goddamn libtards.
I get it.
The problem in California is the beach, the movies, Hollywood, the mountains, like the passion for sports in the state of California is significantly less than
Massachusetts,
Pennsylvania, Ohio,
New York,
Michigan, Illinois. Like, it's just different. You're looking at a situation where, remember, the Pac-12 sent USC to the Palouse to die on a Friday night.
Uh-huh.
You would never, it's just different. So San Diego as a TV market and property struggles because there's apathy. Nobody, with all due respect to San Diego State, Glenn, nobody gives a rat's ass about San Diego State football because they don't win. Their basketball program has more attention than their football program.
100%.
And that's rough when it comes to a TV deal. Kale, at least Michigan State is doing pretty good in basketball. What happens when Tom Izzo dies? Rough. Phenomenal Hebrew. Notre Dame still needs to join a conference. No, they don't. No, they don't. I don't even need to read the rest of the comment. Because the Big Ten and the SEC is going to try and turn off the green water faucet. Why would they?
Yeah, next comment. We've been over this.
Gooby, what do y'all think Boise's record would have been in the Big 12? Who cares? Who cares? Mike Smith. SEC only P4 conference that does not have to worry about long-distance traveling issues.
Facts.
Really good point. Cam Harrison. Shout out to Mo Bamba.
All right, here, man. Let's see.
Good morning, Cam.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
Exactly.
There you go, buddy.
Packer Jip.
Okay. Packer Jip.
Who the fuck is that guy?
He's got $15 to pay us. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Will ESPN Plus show regular network games? No. So you still need the networks. The change will mean nothing. What do you mean, will they show? So will they show regular network games? First of all, I'm not telling you that you should only subscribe to ESPN when they go direct to consumer. But last I checked, just some of the little things that they have.
Not big deals. Just, you know, just
So
You
just
know.
the NFL.
you know,
Who cares?
who gives a damn?
Everybody knows Patrick Mahomes
Yeah,
and
it's scripted.
his sexual
I mean, come on.
assaulter brother, and
Yeah.
we get it.
Come
The SEC, nobody cares. Nobody watches the SEC.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby.
The Big 12, they're busy cleaning coal in West Virginia. They're not watching football.
With Dawn dish soap, apparently.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The ACC, do we need to keep the college football play? Well, Monty, nobody cares about the college football
Monty.
playoff.
You fucking donkey.
ESPN also has the NBA.
Come on, dude.
ESPN also has college basketball.
Did we mention ESPN's golf?
ESPN has the NHL. ESPN has your mom. Like everything you want and fantasize about, including your mom, is on ESPN. Well, bro, they don't show true TV on ESPN, so I'm not doing it. Okay.
You know,
Dude, did you guys know that Jimmy Pitaro farts in his sleep? Why would I subscribe to ESPN, bro?
And it sucks.
You paid me $15. The change will mean nothing. Cougs Johnson, keep scrolling. Okay. Because the most valuable programs in the G5 are all in the Pac-12. Okay, so let me ask you. What does that mean? The most valuable programs. So you're sitting across the table with major TV providers. We have all the biggest programs. Write me a deal now. Okay, so why don't we have a deal? Because you have all the most valuable programs.
Yeah, why don't you have a TV deal already?
Why haven't we announced a media rights deal? Remember, it's just going to be a matter of weeks.
Yeah, it was going to be done by Christmas, remember?
The great wizard behind the bald curtain up in the Northwest, you know,
Venice Parade.
Yeah, you know,
Venice Parade.
back of the envelope calculations here, dude. We're getting a TV deal. So you have all these great properties. Why don't you have a TV deal?
Back of the envelope calculations.
Oh, that's right. Because the best G5 brands are not in big markets, so they're not valuable to TV networks. That's right. Okay.
That's all I'm asking, man. That's all I'm asking. Go blue, Monty, 1,886 days. That's how long it's going to take you to lose your virginity. Jeez Louise.
Jeez, dude.
Smiles and glory holes.
Eric, you need to seriously...
Dude.
If you, what are you gonna? Let me ask you something, Eric. If it's 1,886 days until you have female companionship, can I just ask you, what are you gonna do when you get forearm tendonitis?
bruh.
Cheat on your right hand with your left? Good luck.
Yeah, dude.
The
New
SEC
technique.
was better at paying players before it was legal. The advantage is gone. That must be
Which
it.
again, I don't understand. Why does that matter right now? Like,
What does that have to do with anything?
yeah.
You guys have got to get in a place where you can take your hate of something out of it and just analyze it. You have, okay. Let me play Jimmy's game here.
Jimmy.
So the SEC sucks. They're a has-been that never was.
And it sucks.
Okay. So if I just say, who are the best basketball teams in the country? Auburn, number 1 in the country. Aren't they in the Mountain West? Duke.
Okay.
ACC.
Okay.
Iowa State, Big 12.
Okay.
Alabama, Pac 12.
Okay.
Florida,
Wait, last I checked, wasn't Florida in the ACC?
Yeah, they didn't they leave the SEC when they couldn't pay players
Because the
anymore?
SEC wanted Florida State and everything, right?
Well, no, the SEC folded because they can no longer cheat and pay players illegally.
How dare you?
So they had to fold the league. Math is hard.
Because it's illegal.
Auburn's number 1, Alabama 4, Florida 5, Tennessee 8, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Mississippi State.
Yeah,
Those are all in the
they're all
top.
Garbo,
They're all in
dude.
the top 15.
They're all Garbo, bro. Come on.
Yet here we are, and the SEC is just broken as a property. Okay,
Now, hang on, really quick. Where are the Pac-12 teams here? Do we have any Pac-12 teams in the list here? Like, what's the highest ranked Pac-12 team currently?
I don't. Marquette. Oh wait, they're not. My bad. I got confused.
Just a stalwartness.
Okay, so we're not. Okay, that's basketball. Well, Monty, that's basketball. Okay, no, well, Monty's. Let's talk football, because remember, the SEC sucks. They can't pay players anymore. They're cooked.
Right.
Because it's garbage.
Final AP poll. Ohio State.
Okay.
Notre Dame. They joined the big. No, they're not in a conference. My bad. Oregon.
Yeah.
Texas.
Uh-huh.
Georgia at 6. Tennessee at 9. Ole Miss at 11.
Wait, wasn't Tennessee that same team that was highly ranked in the basketball rankings too?
And the only 10 I see. Like, I understand. The SEC sucked so bad. And the Big Ten is amazing. Best conference anybody's ever seen, because they've won back-to-back national championships and cheated to get one, legitimately won the other. And it's such an amazing deep conference that Oregon finished 3rd in the final AP poll, and this is their first year in the league. But, I mean, the Big Ten, you would never see that.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
Not in the Big Ten, because the Big Ten is amazing.
Yeah, next question.
Very premature with your Everybody's Dead. Remember the early days of ESPN when they were struggling for any content, and the Lumberjack contests were probably the best live
those
show?
Were so fun to watch.
God. Amazing. Even 365 recognizes the Big Ten as the new power. Nobody. I'm not saying the Big Ten sucks, but all of you jackwagons like being like, oh, Marty, that it's dead. The SEC's dead. Hate to break it to you. They're not dead. They're not dead. They are not dead. Not close to being dead. Like, I just don't understand why we can't. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. All right. Michigan sucks because the Big Ten's the best. They would never cheat to. Oh, wait, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Michigan cheating provided, that they win a national championship. Of course, this is presented by Prize Picks, America's favorite daily fantasy app. Have you done the Super Bowl, or excuse me, the big game free play on Prize Picks yet? I was talking to Ken yesterday, one of our great listeners, in of all places. Central Valley of California. Ken and I were talking about what's the best chief prize pick to match Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce for 63.5 yards, more or less.
Less.
What about Kareem's Hunt for 46.5 yards rushing? And I would tell you there's one, and this will fly under the radar. I think the one for the Chiefs that you pair with Patrick Mahomes, half a passing yard, more or less. That's the free play on Prize Picks right now. Juju Smith-Schuster is only 15.5 yards.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Ken, I think that was a great poll by you.
You go Patty Mahomes, Juju, and then Saquon for a touchdown.
And I think that's the other one.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley for a touchdown.
Cash.
That's what's great about Prize Picks. They're always helping you win. They want you to win, right? So they're going to give you a free play, essentially, Do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to have more than 1 yard passing? Yeah, I do.
Well, Monty.
No, well, Monty's. We all know the officials are going to make sure he wins the Bowl of Supers. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty. When you open a new Prize Picks account, you deposit $5. They'll give you 50 instantly more. $50 when you deposit $5. And they're giving you a free play to open the gate. Hook it up, prizepicks.com. Join the tens of millions of Americans, such as and like myself, who are on Prize Picks every day. The NBA, fantastic. College basketball. I was in the pooper for Cooper. I won. I was in the pooper for Cooper. Has anybody noticed that he is absolutely dominating? It took him a minute to dip his wick, but now he is deep in college basketball.
Right.
Stay hard.
Yeah. He is deep in college basketball.
Such as in like
Michigan, who cheats to win games. Michigan admits to sign stealing. And now I understand, and I think we've had the inside edge on this story from the beginning. Michigan always knew what happened. We told you that way back when this broke last year. Michigan always knew what had happened. They simply wanted to make sure that they could win a national championship because they know, just like everybody else knows, that the NCAA is no longer in the business of ripping championships. They won their championship, and now it is undoubted, in my opinion. Michigan cheated their way to a championship. If you did not see the story yesterday, Michigan responded to enforcement action from the NCAA by admitting a sign-stealing operation happened. Their answer was, no, well, yeah, but no coaches knew. In the response, the school acknowledged that some impermissible in-person scouting appears to have occurred, quote, though less than the NCAA claims, and that some recruiting violations occurred as well. All of the wrongdoing, it says, will be addressed in the Committee on Infractions hearing, and it will advise the committee members of self-imposed penalties. Michigan believes that the Committee on Infractions, COI means Committee on Infraction, dummy, will see that actual evidence has, quote, not borne out, end quote, the NCAA's initial assessment of the resulting sensational public narrative or the approach taken in the notice of allegations, the response says. Despite producing phone, computer, and other data to the NCAA, investigators have not proven that, quote, any coaches were aware or much less participated in schemers trying to control their little sign stealing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get something straight. Michigan stole signs, admittedly, in an illegal manner, because sign stealing itself is not illegal, and they committed recruiting violations. Those are not questions. Those are not opinions. Michigan has admitted that. They cheated their way to a championship. Nobody had the balls to do something about it in real time. And so here we are. When we talk about, Monty, they've won back-to-back championships in the Big Ten. No, they haven't. I don't want to hear about the SEC cheating. I don't want to hear about, the SEC can't cheat anymore. What did Michigan do? Michigan cheated. Michigan won a championship by cheating because nobody had the balls to do anything about it.
Because it's illegal.
Why did Jim Harbaugh leave Michigan? Well, Monty, Monty's. He left Michigan because he knew he was going to take a year-long suspension if he stayed. Why didn't he sign a new contract at Michigan? Because somehow, some way, some of the jackwagons that run the University of Michigan finally found a moral compass and said, we're not giving you insulation and guaranteed money
immunity
from NCAA prosecution. There's no way to spin it anymore. Michigan's reputation, Michigan's ethics and morals have been tainted by Jim Harbaugh and his football department and the cheating scandal that they now admit took place in that football department. Say anything you want about Ryan Day. Let's not forget that his brother and his private investigator and all that. Let's not forget he just won a championship, and Ryan Day and Ohio State are national championships. They did it clean. They had the most difficult road. Michigan had an easy road. They cheated. We knew they cheated, and nobody had the balls to do anything about it. And those are not opinions. Those are facts. Did you have a sign stealing operation in your football department? Yes. Oh, but Monty, the coaches didn't know. Hey, guess what? Doesn't matter if they knew. Doesn't matter if they knew. What's the NCAA rule book say? Yeah. It's called lack of institutional control.
Oh.
Because it's your responsibility now. But Jim Harbaugh, Jimmy just feeding kids that were hungry.
It's cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers. And they were cold. Yeah, winter's cold in Michigan, Marty. But now you admit that recruiting violations happen. Well, oh my God. Jim Harbaugh, he just happened to be at the same rush. Not a crime to go out to eat, Monty. He was just getting an omelet and some hash browns. Maybe wanted to throw in some tater tots. And little Jimmy was in the corner with a can. So Jim Harbaugh bought little Jimmy a fucking cheeseburger. And you guys want to say we cheated. Pricks. Turns out you did cheat, and now you've admitted it.
I love the language, too. I love the language. We did. But it's less than what the NCAA is saying.
I mean, we cheated, but yeah. But
right, T.
What was he supposed to do?
I mean, it was 10 cheeseburgers, not 15. Like, there's a difference.
And yeah, the FBI was on campus, but fuck that. Like, we beat him on the field. Free Harbaugh.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
Shut up.
I don't want to hear the best point of this whole thing. And I'm sure I can't wait to read the comments. The best part of the whole thing is the lack of institutional control portion. Jim never knew. None of our coaches knew.
The kid was hungry. What was he supposed to do? You're going to punish us. You're punishing us for being good human beings, buddy. Hey, are you having a stroke? No, that's just Jim Harbaugh. He fed me too much cholesterol in those cheeseburgers when I was a kid.
My butt.
The SEC cheated. Well, why are the SEC getting black asterisks and stuff? Rip their trophy.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
What about Ryan Day's brother? He's a private investigator. So what if I cheated on my wife? Didn't need no private investigator to tell me that. They broke into our computer file because his brother's a private investigator. Jimmy was just feeding hungry cats. Hey, man, this fucking Connor Stallions was a lone wolf, man. Monty, you don't know what you're talking
Sign
about.
stealer guy.
You're making all this up.
By the way,
Connor Stallions wasn't on the sideline at Central Michigan.
Any comment? Jim. Hey, the other Jim, not Jim Harbaugh. Jim McElwain. Any comment?
Well, you look at Connor Stallions, who wasn't on the sidelines, but he was wearing those Ray-Ban glasses. Bro, that wasn't a blue recording light. That was a reflection from a Pythagorean theorem in the isosceles angle of the light that came in.
It's the fucking vernal equinox.
And the vernal equinox came together, and it was a prism of awesomeness. And then we put it all together. And then when we put ketchup on the cheeseburger so Jimmy wouldn't starve, I mean, you put all this together, it's a big nothing burger, kind of like the one he bought for those recruits at that restaurant that nobody can prove.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
This is some of my best work.
It is, and I really appreciate it.
And you know what? When the coaches couldn't. Sharon Moore deleted those text messages because Connor Stallions was sending naked pictures of the vacuum salesman.
That's fucking interesting, man.
Nothing to do with Connor. What is that little leprechaun like running back? Balake Karam. When he signed those LLC papers with Connor, that's not
ink isn't dry yet.
Right, but it's not cheating even if the ink is still wet because Jimmy was just feeding hungry kids at the holidays.
We're getting somewhere.
Okay, now I have to say, let's see what the comment section has for us. Let's see this epic defense that's about to go down for Michigan right here.
That's the whole vacuum thing. It's all bullshit.
Oh, here it is.
Are you telling me,
Monty,
that you're just going to leave crumbs from that cheeseburger on the floor of the restaurant? When you know that your coach, who doesn't work for you, that lone wolf, right? Connor Stallions, we didn't have that light reflecting blue. Are you telling me just because he had a vacuum or two laying around and he happened to toss one into Connor or Blake Blake's car, and they drove over to the restaurant, and the recruit happened to be in the same restaurant as the hungry kid who left crumbs on the ground, burger. And then they took the vacuum that Connor repaired and Blake plugged in, and they vacuumed up the burger crumbs. That's not Jim Harbaugh's fault. But why is he coaching the Chargers? He's an excellent coach. Everybody wants him. He accomplished everything.
I don't know. I don't know.
Right? He accomplished everything that you could ever want to accomplish here in the state of Michigan. And so he left. He didn't running. He's Captain America, man.
Doesn't get any more red, white, and blue than
Jimmy Harbaugh would never lie, cheat, and steal to win a
cheating, lying, and then playing the victim.
You guys are just a bunch of Michigan haters. Bradley Dunkel. Scum.
Dunkel!
Ho-ho! Scum doing scum things.
Correct.
Kind of like the scumbag Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
Steely. Ferris, a prime example of their fan base spouting nonsense for the last year. Stop already, Ferris. Listen. I know I moved to Carlsbad.
Wait. Read his comment right here.
I moved to Carlsbad. That doesn't mean that Jim Harbaugh cheated.
Sign stealer guy.
Let me tell you something.
Monty.
Connor Stallions was acting as a lone wolf. Hey, but Ferris, it doesn't matter if he was a lone wolf because it's called lack of institutional control. You know, he has to know or he didn't know. Either way, I mean, Jim Harbaugh sucked as a head coach. Well, you can't say he sucked as a head coach, okay? Because they won, and it had nothing to do with sign stealing. We knew the signals already, bro. He was a lone wolf. Connor Stallions, he was a Marine. You respect his service to our country. He was acting as a sentry, not a lone wolf. But
what the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
You said lone. But listen, Marty. I live in Carlsbad now.
Marty?
Old Tatanka. Monty, don't pop a vein. It'll be okay.
Dude.
We're just having fun with it. This is a victory celebration. Imagine a defense knowing exactly what play a team was about to run. They should have held teams to under 10 points in every single game. Ask C.J. Stroud if it impacted him that they knew what signals they were calling. Oh, but Monty, the coaches didn't know. Okay, so let me just get this right. Connor Stallions on video is seen
repeatedly
standing next to the Michigan coaches, telling them the play that the opposition team was going to run. And then when he tells them, all the Michigan players in the background, pass, run, jockstrap, put it in your butt. Hey, they're going to put it in your, it's coming. Rectal,
so
back
you can
door.
Go to Pound Town.
Back door, Pound Town. Downstairs, kitty cat. Hey, they're running downstairs, kitty cat.
Smiles and glory holes.
And then they make the play, and oh my God, it's a tackle for loss. Monty, it's not because they stole the signals. That we were talented
they didn't
players.
even know who sign stealer guy was, right? He was just a staffer.
JJ McCarthy was a great quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Shut up. Probably too much. Damian Fowler. Jake, I hope you tape that Monty rant for your soundboard. You know.
Yeah.
Once again, Monty let his emotions get in the way of facts.
Oh, okay.
Stallions likely.
Wait, pull up the graphic.
Likely.
Pull up the graphic really quick. So now we're using words like likely. And what did they say? It appears that scouting violations might have happened. The
school acknowledges that some impermissible in-person scouting appears to have occurred.
Likely appears,
though less than the NCAA claims.
Oh.
So, okay. Stallions likely acted without the knowledge of the coordinators or head coach. Hey, Carlsbad Kenny, let me ask you a question.
Carlsbad Kenny.
Let me ask you a question. Does it matter if the coaches knew?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
Interesting. So Connor Stallions, who was on the football staff, because we know this how, Jake? Oh, that's right. They fired him. So let me get this right.
Tennessee.
You fucking fired him. I mean,
Not the vacuums, though.
You know what, Monty? It was insubordination. I told him to bring a vacuum to the cafe where we were feeding hungry kids, and he wouldn't do it. We had to fire him.
Out of here.
I had to fire his ass. And then the guy brings like a Sharknado vacuum. I just wanted a Hoover like his mom. Like, that's all I was asking.
That's the bottom line.
So let me get this right. You had a guy on staff who you fired for this. So the NCAA rulebook, it says it's not cheating as long as you fired him. No, that's not quite what it says. It says, according to the NCAA bylaws, a coach and administrator, they're viewed as the same, is responsible for the actions of his staff, including his coaches and his players, and their actions on and off the field. It specifically says that it doesn't matter if he is aware or unaware. If his coach or staff member, he was a sentry, he was in the Marines, God bless that service. Absolutely, God bless that service. But you fired him because he sent people out to different stadiums to videotape stuff on iPhones that he provided, sent it up to the cloud, and then paid them and paid for tickets. You know how we know that? Because this guy, who's his century, used a public Venmo account.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
Bought tickets in his own name in public. And then the people that he sent to the games were like, yeah, you want to know about this, Jackwagon? Yeah, it was raining, so I only stayed the first half. Hope I got the signs you needed. Well, how did you get them how do we know that they used a cloud account that was in Connor Stallion's name? Oh, that's right, because they told us that they uploaded the videos they took on the iPhone. They upload. So again, Ferris Clown, I ask you, in Carlsbad, because damn it, I love Carlsbad. Anyway, that's not really the point. My point is, it doesn't matter if they knew. It has zero bearing if they knew. But you just keep running out, acted without the knowledge of the coordinators or head coach. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Zero.
It's over for you.
Zero. Blue Wolverines love bananas. Okay. Michigan is fighting because they found minimal does not match level 1. So we should just take, I know, right? I am not the smartest guy on the planet.
Not the brightest light bulb, the sharpest knife.
Yeah, yeah. But let me just ask you, because you're way smarter than me. So we should take Michigan at their word that it was minimal. And
well, they're upstanding people. They would never, ever do anything like this.
So if it was minimal and there was really no evidence, let's wind back the clocks. So you wanted an injunction.
Let's wind the clocks back a year.
To stop the Big Ten and the NCAA, essentially, from suspending Jim Harbaugh. The injunction was filed in Michigan Superior Court.
Right. Okay.
The judge, he played at
Ohio State, right?
He played at Vanderbilt.
Penn State.
Pedo State, right? Like he knuckles deep,
Shower
right?
Olympic school.
No, he played football. The judge that was going to hear the injunction, he played football at Michigan.
Oh.
But
And
wait,
now,
didn't they? They didn't go through with it though, right?
Now he's a judge and he's going to hear this injunction. We've got this one. Oh, wait. Why at the absolute last second did Michigan and their representation choose not to go to court? Oh, because there must have been just no evidence to say that there was a lack of institutional control. Ferris, if you really believe that there's minimal evidence, what would minimal evidence mean? Would it mean that Connor Stallions used a publicly available Venmo account in his own name to pay people? Would you call that minimal?
No.
Would it mean that he bought tickets at other venues? Would Would you call that minimal?
Well, let's focus on what's on video too, because I think the video portion.
Good point.
Yeah.
Would you call it minimal evidence that all of these stadiums not only aggregated but submitted video of these people who they knew were doing what they were doing? They videotaped them on their iPhones, videoing the sideline, coming into the stadium, leaving the stadium.
Hey, guys.
I mean, that would be minimal evidence. Well, no, would that be significant evidence? Would first person testimony, including media interviews, that would be No, that would be a first person account of how it all went down.
I want to just make sure I understand. So the NCAA is able to through evidence, not just people talking, not just corroboration, right?
In the hungry kids,
the hungry kids and stuff,
cheeseburgers,
and such as and like. The NCAA is able to, through video and receipts, say, hey, we see these people here on video at these stadiums. Your public Venmo account on those days or right around those days, pay those people what you owed them. We then can see the transfer date and time of when they uploaded to the cloud. Then, in addition to that, we can see your behavior on the sideline directly impacting the game. Then we have people in and around the program. Because again, the best part of this article, what's nobody talking about? Yeah, the source who busted all this open and turned the NCAA onto this, an anonymous source from inside on campus.
No. It was Ryan Day's brother who's a private investigator.
I know. So again, Ferris, dude, like at some point you're just gonna have to come around to it.
This is Michigan. In the story that broke yesterday, this is Michigan admitting it. What do you mean minimal? It doesn't matter if it was just Connor Stalions one game went and was seen. It doesn't matter how minimal it is. The NCAA in the rule book does not permit in-person sign stealing. And I would point this out again. Why don't they permit that? Well, it's an unfair advantage. No, it's not. They don't. They made it against the rules because universities didn't want to pay to travel extra staff.
Advanced scouting.
So what do you get? And I know Michigan's intelligent, but what do you get every week? Every single week into a portal. Every university uploads their football film into a portal that everybody has access to, including the entire sideline, the all 22, all of it. There was no reason to ever send anybody to a game to do this because they give it to you already. So when you talk about minimal, or you in public yesterday admitted that you knew it happened. You knew it happened. Hey, Ferris, your VO.
Hey, Ferris.
Hey, Ferris. Your VOCFB buddies agree with you about your takes. You should go see how they are. Listen, I am amazed that Michigan fan still has their head in the sand. I am amazed that you believe he was a lone wolf. I am amazed that you believe he did nothing wrong. I am amazed that you believe that there is minimal. It doesn't matter if there's one sliver of evidence. They're admitting there were recruiting violations. They're admitting that there was illegal, impermissible in-person scouting. You admitted it. And all this is by Michigan is bloviating and chest puffing. Because if you read the letter of the law, which Michigan had a hand in writing, because who's enforcing this? The NCAA, which is all the member institutions. You admitted you did it. There's no arguing about it. You admitted you did it. You're going to get slapped. You admitted you did it. Jim Harbaugh is going to get a 10-year show cause because you admitted you did it. Sharon Moore is probably going to get a suspension. He deleted text messages. You admitted you did it. You admitted you had recruiting violations. When the coach leaves, and this is all publicly available online, the NCAA bylaws. What happens when a coach who's committed major level 1 infractions, which Jim Harbaugh doesn't argue with, because what did he do? What is his level 1 infraction? Was it buying cheeseburgers for hungry kids who were out in the cold in Detroit? No. Jim Harbaugh lied to the Committee on Infractions. How do we know he lied? Well, let's see. There are text message where he talks about meeting the kid at a place and a time. His family is. It's all electronically proved out.
Yeah.
What you're denying now, it just makes you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
And Ferris, I actually don't think you're stupid. I think you just don't want to admit,
stubborn as hell and prideful.
And you don't want to admit you were completely and absolutely wrong. We're the ones who have been
since day one
out in front of this story right to the letter. We have never not once put a step wrong on the Michigan cheating story. Go back. It's all on the channel. Go back. Never mind. You still got to deal with what the FBI is looking into with computer crimes. Yeah, you fired another staff member for that. What do you think? What do you think happened with Juwan Howard in the basketball program at Michigan? Do you think that Michigan's athletic department is a well-run, well-oiled machine? Ward Manuel's a laughingstock in college athletics. He also happens to be the chairman of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, which is in and of itself is criminal. So, can TCUN be sued for loss of money due to cheating? I don't think so. And I like how Sharon said that he deleted Stallion's text messages because he was pissed off at what Stallion's did. It doesn't matter why you did it. You covered it up.
Yep.
I hope people understand Jim Harbaugh's tier 1 violations are all only more severe because he lied and covered it up allegedly and wouldn't sit for an interview and then said, I'm doing it for the kids. Is that why you ran off to Los Angeles to be the coach of the Chargers? Because you're doing it for the kids? No, because you were running away from punishment. Kind of hard to deny that.
Yeah.
So, delusional charlatans. It's been 40 years since Notre Dame won a championship. What does Notre Dame have to do with this conversation?
Nothing.
Oh, you're deflecting. That's right. That's right. You're deflecting. The truth is, you're going to get slapped. And I think pretty harshly. And I think that, again, if you're Sharon Moore, self-admitting this stuff, notice the other part of this that I think is really critical. You already punished yourself, you say. What? And I'm wondering, let's see what those punishments are.
What your self-imposed penalties
Let's
were.
see what those punishments are. Are those the Harbaugh suspensions? Because if they are, you didn't really punish yourself at all. You didn't really punish yourself.
And again, why are you punishing yourself if you did nothing wrong?
Well, you can't say you did nothing wrong anymore because now you've admitted what you did wrong.
Precisely my point.
You had recruiting violations.
Look at Michigan's behavior. See, this is
impermissible in-person scouting.
Dude, you did the court thing where you went in and you were going to blow this whole thing up and nothing to see here. We're getting this dismissed. And then you ran from that fight because you knew you couldn't win. Then what did you do? Okay, well, we didn't win that. Now people think we're guilty. Now we need to go ahead and impose some penalties here. So we're going to suspend Jim Harbaugh for 3 hours and call it 3 weeks. And that should be enough.
Yeah. Damian Fowler, Smash is talking about Sam Webb. Is Sam Webb a credible source? To believe him, but Smash literally quit a Michigan podcast. You had a podcast with people just like Sam Webb because he didn't agree with what they were saying. Wonder why? I have no idea what that's even.
I don't know anything about that.
UW fan Jim Ferris is holding on to plausible deniability. Okay. Cougs Johnson, minimal equals only stealing 1 to 2 tutties per game. Yeah, And you know the best part? You know when people got fed up? When you guys buried Rutgers.
Yeah, that's what got you caught.
Which is amazing. And Ward Manuel, the current president of the College Football Playoff Committee. Exactly. Ferris equals Baghdad Bob. I don't know.
Afghanistan.
It's just wild to me that Michigan fans want to continue to hang on to this.
Yeah.
Stuff. Hey, Jeremy Bolton is here.
Well.
Good to see you, my friend. Love the picture you posted on Insta Snapface, by the way. You used to actually be halfway decent looking. I mean, you're hideous now. Jeremy Bolton's like 79 years old and he's ripped. He's like are you still competing and training?
Do you even lift?
Whatever. The NCAA has lost its power. No, it has not. Based on what have they lost their power? Okay. Sam Webb brings in experts. He is on CBS and local radio. Voice of College Football is more of a fan podcast. I don't know what Voice of College Football is.
So apparently you were on this podcast.
You were on the voice.
Out of it.
You were the voice of college football. Okay. And I got news for you. Nobody in the Michigan local media has been at all accurate or credible about this because we've looked and tried to find them.
Yeah.
Nobody has been credible. Steely, Ferris isn't stupid, just doesn't want to face the facts that Ohio State is the best. Feel bad. He is still in denial. I think Ferris is not stupid or unintelligent. You know. The eye patch. Con. James T. Kirk.
Right.
Yes, exactly right. I can agree with that. Still doing the Spartans. You want a sticker, do you? Yeah, can you get me a Spartan race participant? Maybe a finisher sticker.
What's the fee for a sticker? Because I'm not going to do all the work and everything. I just want the sticker.
Yeah. Folks are getting confused on what the NCAA can and cannot do. I agree with that. And I'm 78. Thank you very much. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Probably a burner account hiding the like BW or Moose. Okay.
Okay.
I agree that people get confused about what the NCAA can and cannot do. The NCAA, and I've told you this before, the NCAA is not going to impose death penalties. Those days are over. What they did to SMU, largely what they did to Reggie and USC, those days are over. But if you think that they're not going to smack Michigan hard, they'll never vacate wins. The national championship's not going anywhere. I think now we all know that Michigan cheated their way to a championship. I think that championship 2 years ago is scarred forever. Nobody thinks it's legitimate. Nobody thinks they earned it fair and square. I think me and most other people believe if they hadn't stolen signs, they wouldn't have won. I think what you're going to see is massive scholarship reductions, massive recruiting restrictions, significant show cause orders. It's going to be very difficult, I think, for 3 years for Michigan to operate effectively as a football program. I think death penalties, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. Dev MC, I believe Ohio State, Rutgers, and Purdue were the schools that brought the sign stealing operation to the Big Ten first because you buried Rutgers.
Again and again and again.
Come on. Brandon Butler, that Caruso headband must be the fountain of youth. It is. My lower back says otherwise, Brandon. Bro, I was taking a golf lesson last night. I am just old. When you participate in athletic endeavors and I'm 50, I'm going to be 52 here in a couple of weeks. I still hit the golf ball a mile. I'm learning how to do that better and better. But I woke up this morning and was like, damn, bro, my traps are jacked. Like you just get pain and soreness in different areas that, I'm not going into why I am not the voice of college football. Not fair to voice of college football if I spill dirty laundry in public. Are you talking about yourself in the third person now? It's not fair to you to, dude, what are you doing? I will say that talking Michigan is just a hobby for me. It's not a profession. You're a fan.
Yeah.
What
do you mean?
I have no idea what you're talking about. None. With Penn State still having a program, that proves the NCAA has absolutely no power anymore. I think that they substantially punished Penn State. I agree that Penn State should never have played another down of football after the pedo state stuff came to light.
Yeah.
I feel that in my bones, Mayor. Can't wait for it to warm up. Me too. Jeez. Anime. The sign stealers. Ohio State better beat them next year. Dude, seriously. Seriously. It's been 47,226 seconds. Okay. Massive reduction in cheeseburger giveaways. Totally. If Ohio State can't beat Michigan next year, they just suck. That must be it. Only problem is their national championship's not tainted. There is that. Do you guys agree with me on that? Do you think that Michigan wins the national championship if they don't steal signs? In my opinion, I don't see any way that they win the national championship last year. I just don't. How would they have done that? Steely, Ferris, those guys are complete bozos, so I don't hold much water in anything those guys do or say. Do you guys understand how difficult it is to do a show and like I was talking to a major university figure trying to get that person to come on our show.
Yeah.
And they won't come on because it's, I watch those YouTube shows and it's stuff like Ferris calling himself the god of college football or whatever.
So
come on, man.
And look, man, I'm just going to shoot you straight. I've never looked any of this stuff up, right? I've never even heard of the voice of college football.
Oh, the voice of college football.
Yeah. I've never and maybe I'm just casual. Maybe I should be more educated on this. But based on what I can see, the voice of college football, based on what I can see, is like a network, like a grouping of shows under one bigger umbrella. And you were the Michigan guy. And now I guess based on what everyone's saying that's not happening, I guess, anymore. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about this, but yeah, I just think that I think that when you don't get to have it both ways. That's the reality of it. You can't do a show or pretend to do a professional show and then have fan takes and be wearing the blue colored glasses every ounce of your life. That doesn't work.
I wish people understood how difficult it is to do a show every day. I do. Oh, John Jackson, breaking news. Jack in the Box just opened around the corner in Kaysville.
Dude, stay hard.
The home of Will Smith.
Stay hard.
Love that, dude. Ultimate cheeseburger. Best burger in fast food. Deflect, deny, and degrade. The Michigan fan playbook. There you go. Ferris is the goddess of pull-ups. I wish I could do pull-ups. Steely, Monty, you play golf today? I will work on my putting and chipping today, yes. Big John. Why can't people like Ferris understand that 6 level 1 violations is a serious matter?
Yeah, the thing that's interesting, like whether it's Michigan or like the Florida State stuff or Pac-12, the Pac-12 meltdown and Oregon State fan, nobody just wants to say like, yeah, we did, like, it's pretty clear, like, we did this, and it is pretty clear that there's evidence and we got caught and like, we're going to be held accountable on some level. At some point, the NCAA is going to say like, hey, this is what we have. We've got video evidence. We've got, transcripts like receipts and text messages and things like that. In addition to those two pieces, we've also got corroboration from, a number of different people with different perspectives from the situation, whether it's the guy that Connor sent out to the stadium to film, whether it's, someone on the sideline at Central Michigan who actually gave, Connor Stallions that pass. Like they've got all of this, like just a pile of evidence. So the funny thing is for me, when I have this conversation, I'm not a Big Ten guy. I'm not a Michigan fan or an Ohio State fan. Like, I'm just someone who's doing the show, covering these stories, looking at the facts as they come to us. And there's no getting away from the fact that there is evidence and it is a dark day. And Ward Manuel should no longer be the athletic director at Michigan. I would go one step further and say that if there is any type of way through the evidence to link it back all the way up the food chain to Ward Manuel or, God forbid, Santa Ono, Michigan is in just a world of hurt, bro.
Totally agree. All right. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Clear, risk-free advice. Don't trust your insurance company. That's my message to you today. Ferris Khan, don't trust your insurance company. You now have an advocate's office in San Diego. You guys get in an accident, you get hurt at work. You get your feelings hurt by Michigan actually being cheating scumbags. Go to the Advocates. I'm kidding. Advocates.com, chat with an injury attorney live online, and it won't cost you a dime. What are you guys watching on TV right now? It's a really interesting question in talking about UNLV and the Pac-12. And what are you guys watching on TV? I think it's very interesting that the AFC Championship game drew 57 million viewers. 57 million viewers on CBS. The most watched AFC Championship game ever.
Yeah.
TGL. Do you guys know what TGL is? Tiger Golf League by some estimations. Indoor simulator golf, and it was spectacular. I've loved every week of it. This week was fantastic. It was Tiger versus Rory. 27% jump from the previous week. 1.1 million viewers during overtime of TGL, averaging 874,000 viewers per week for a brand new product that nobody really understands. So what are you watching? Because you know what I'm not watching? I'm not watching 5 NBA games a night anymore.
No.
I'm not the guy, and I used to be the guy that would just watch a ton of NBA every
last
night.
Season it was every night.
Like
every night.
I'm watching the Jazz, I'm watching the Suns, some Lakers, never the Bulls. I'm watching some marquee bigger games, but I'm not watching 4 or 5 games a night anymore. I'm watching the TGL if this week it was Monday, but usually on Tuesdays, I thought. I'm watching the TGL. I'm watching the NFL playoffs. But I got to tell you, I think sports is significantly slipping. Now, I'm a Cubs season ticket holder. I love baseball. Cannot wait for spring training. Going to spring training, going to be watching spring training, going to be watching Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch college basketball. The other night, I watched Pooper get in the Cooper. In the Cooper's Pooper.
And stuff, such as in life.
And like.
Yeah.
I watched part of the Carolina game last night, and we blew it. I watched most of Arizona and Love the other night. Unbelievable. I'm not watching a lot of college basketball right now. I'll watch probably during the tournaments.
Everyone watches during the tournaments.
But what are you passionate about right now? If I asked you that, what are you watching on TV?
I mean,
what are you into?
I am retreading Chicago PD like nobody's business.
You are?
I am, yes. I've gone through, it really depends, right? So like if I'm home alone at night, if the girlfriend's not home, I'm probably watching Chicago PD, or I'm watching if there's something like TGL on, right? Like Chicago PD is the fallback, right? Hey, if there's nothing on that I have to watch for the show, then I'm going to watch Chicago PD most likely. If there is something on that I need to watch, then it'll be like TGL, or it'll be the AFC Championship game, or because that's how it is for me, right? Like, and this is a factor that I think needs to be talked about. For us doing a show, there are things you have to watch. There are things that you probably should watch, but can get away with it if you don't. And then there are things you don't have to watch that we're probably not going to talk about on the show, right? So there's like levels to it. So it depends on the day. Like last night was all Chicago PD. I didn't watch anything else. I watched, you get done. I get done with my day around 6, then you got to hop on the Peloton for a minute. And then by the time you get downstairs, it's like 6:30, 6:40. You're flipping something on, you're making dinner, we're looking for topics. Like that's kind of the time I have. I don't have like 4 hours to watch. So that's kind of my experience. It is very much day to day. That is definitely how it is for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And for me, it depends on the night. Like if I'm swinging a golf club that night, I'm probably not watching TV. If we're sitting around, I'm probably watching, like when I eat lunch during the day, I watch Miami Vice, right? In all seriousness, I watch Miami Vice reruns. At night, I'm usually catching up. Mrs. Monty and I try to spend a couple hours together at night. Because obviously she's at her office, I'm at my office all day. So when we come home, we'll generally make dinner. And then we'll flip on if there's football on, if there's TGL on, or we're watching that. If If there's not, we're usually watching some variety of Chicago PD. I've seen every episode of Chicago PD multiple times.
Yeah.
So I'm into those new shows, any of the Law and Orders. If none of that is live or if we don't have new episodes, I am generally going to watch House Hunters International. One of those kinds of shows.
Yeah.
Or I'm just going to go in and relax and start meditating, stretching. Like I do a stretching routine now every night before bed. And if you're not, you're an idiot because it's amazing. The Jackal. Bro, the Jackal's gas.
But I just, like last NBA season, I had the SCG Plus package. I had League Pass, and I still have League Pass. But I'm just not that into it. Like I'm telling you, like there's not that it factor this year. There's nothing to hold on to.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see what you guys are watching. All right. Let's see. What do you guys got going on? That was a great program. What do you mean? What was a great program? Let me go back up. Hey, my town just opened a Chick-fil-A. I hate Chick-fil-A. Woohoo! Fat boy gonna eat today. Okay, so you guys want to know my life? You want to know what my exciting thing yesterday was? Besides hitting a forward, one swing of the forward last night went 305. Okay, cool. I got 10 pounds of Impossible Chicken Nuggets delivered to my front door yesterday. Made my day. If you don't, dude, if you have not tried Impossible Chicken Nuggets, you're missing out.
Gas, dude.
They're excellent. But
now, what's your sauce? Are you just ranching it, or what's the sauce that you're eating with this? You got to have a sauce to dip nuggies in. Dude, come on. No, you just do it dry? Come on, bro. Like,
I'm trying to say something that was nice about my life, and you have to come in with a moronic question of what do you dip your nuggets in?
Yeah, dude, nuggies need dip.
Anyway, my point is, I get them at Costco, usually. Costco stopped carrying Impossible products. Sold out in like 2 days every time they got them, stopped carrying them. I'm not like 5 nuggets at Harmon's, which is my local grocery store, is like $87,000. So I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So I just happened to Google search Impossible Chicken Nuggets, and a food wholesaler came up. It's like, okay.
Say less.
2 10-pound bags of chicken, of Impossible Nuggets. I was like, well, 10 pounds isn't a lot. Okay, how much is it? $89.
$89 for 10 pounds?
It's a lot of nuggets.
Damn.
So I'm like, okay, I'm in. I order them. They show up on the doorstep yesterday in a styrofoam container full of dry ice. I'm thinking that it's a huge styrofoam container that FedEx dropped off. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not fitting in the freezer. What am I going to do? I don't have a freezer in my garage anymore.
Right.
I only have the one in my kitchen. And this thing is this big. Like I can't put my arms all the way around it. Carry it into the kitchen. It's heavy and it's big. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in so much trouble. My wife is going to pimp slap me when she gets home. Like, all right, I cut open the styrofoam. It's all dry ice. There's a box. Smaller box. The relief that came over me when there was that smaller box. I'm like, okay, cool. I cut open the smaller box. And let me tell you, this dry ice was so cold, I had trouble holding the cardboard box, the smaller box. It was that cold. Cut open the smaller box, and it's 2 10-pound bags of nuggets.
Yeah.
And they're so cold, I immediately opened them up. I was going to drop them in the air fryer. So cold, I couldn't actually touch the nuggets themselves. So I took a box cutter, opened the bag, poured like 10 of them onto a little basket, put them in the air fryer. The rest of them fit into the freezer just fine.
Okay.
can I tell you that when they were done, they were the best chicken or Impossible Nuggets. You can't tell the difference. Impossible chicken nuggets are so good. They're fresher. They're crispier. They're more meat. Like, they're really good.
Yeah.
Dip them in some ranch sauce. Oh, my God. It was unbelievable, dude, how good they were. It was really good. Impossible Nuggies dipped in blue cheese.
No.
Stop. Weekends ago. I have $100 gift certificate, so I'm going back this weekend. Everybody ain't able. Anyway, the point is, I go up there and I want to order a wedge salad. I said no blue cheese of any kind, and the guy looked at me. He's like, "It's a wedge."
You fucking donkey.
No. Hey, Chubbs, it's a wedge. No blue cheese. He's like, and the guy says to me, "Oh, you want ranch?"
Yeah, you're damn right I do.
God damn right I do.
I want ranch and I want my bacon and I want it now.
He forgot. I never got the salad, by the way. Don't know what happened. They took it off the bill, which was fine.
Yeah.
And we got free dessert because of that. But I hate blue cheese. I hate everything about blue cheese. I can't do it. JC says Landman.
Excellent show.
Eye Patch, Seinfeld, and Breaking Bad reruns. Okay. John Jackson, TGL is awesome. Wasn't expecting to get so into it, right?
Dude, it was the best TGL week so far.
Because Tom Kim and the personalities and Kevin Kisner being terrible at golf. I say terrible.
But then hitting, like, the funny thing is he's been terrible the first couple of weeks, but then he was really good this week.
The personalities, Rory and Tiger joking around and bro hugging and dapping, Tom Kim rolling around because the ball didn't go in the hole almost on the ground.
Constantly throwing hammers and like
loved it. Yeah. Loved every minute of it. The natural NBA doesn't interest me anymore really until the playoff.
I don't quite understand this. Like,
Neither
I'm
do I.
with you. I don't understand why the NBA has just disappeared. Like, it's there, but is it just because the matchups suck? Like, is it because like I maintain it's because LeBron is not relevant in the league in terms of like being on a really good team that where he can dominate every night. And like, and I get it. Like, the Lakers are going to be a playoff team. Cool. But it's not the same. It's not like you used to be able to watch garden variety LeBron James game and be like, dude, I'm going to watch someone get posterized or like there's going to be some gnarly play. Yep. And it's just not like that anymore.
No. Damian Fowler, Monty, where do you watch Miami Vice reruns at? Make fun of me, but Miami Vice is my favorite show of all time. I watch them on Amazon Prime. You know what the biggest issue is? Season 1 and season 2 are the two best seasons, I think, by far. The best ever episode of Miami Vice is the one that features a character named Evan. Crockett and Evan are really close friends. It's not available. You cannot watch that episode because of a licensing issue with Peter Gabriel, the musical artist. Peter Gabriel wrote a song just for that episode, and it's not licensed. So nobody will stream that episode for you. You have to get the box set, which I have, but who puts in DVDs anymore?
Yeah.
Roche, this year it's Super Bowl boycott party. Not going to watch Tay party with the cheating refs. I'm saying I'm watching Dragon Ball Damia. Okay, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Is anybody watching UFC?
Nope.
I feel like it's not a big thing anymore. Waiting for season 3, Invincible, season 3, One Punch Man. I'm waiting for season 2 of The Jackal. That show is unbelievable. Dustin, whoa. Hello. We're locked up.
Oh, boy.
There it is. NBA's gone downhill for me, Dustin says. I think for a lot of people. Although I'm getting my my book ones today.
Book one, Cortez.
Stoked. John Jackson, Jake is catching up on SLC Housewives.
Apparently.
Season 1 was pretty good. Haven't watched since. The only thing I'm watching is SVU, hockey, some Premier League if I'm up in the morning. Dude, Chelsea Football Club, we got buried by City over the weekend. So disappointing. Dunkel, who? Beyond just watching informative murder porn. Okay.
Sorry, you just said informative murder prawn?
Yeah. The eye patch. Pluto has all the Friday the 13th films. Binged that last night. Nice. Cam Harrison, Conor McGregor at the BYU Baylor game last night.
Why
Yes.
is this a thing, dude? What,
because he is partnered with Bucked Up.
Yeah.
And the guys at Bucked Up are BYU supporters. He was at the Jazz game the other night. That's why he's here. He's partnered with Bucked Up now.
Yeah.
Roche, Chiefs in the Super Bowl is Real Housewives of the NFL season finale. There you go. Oak State James, right on time as usual. Michigan is going to lose some recruits in a few recruiting classes and a reduction of recruiting trips. You think that's all they're going to get? Okay. Ferris says the end game here is for Michigan is what happened to Tennessee. I don't know what that means. Okay. Ferris also says, Monty, watch British TV. The acting is better. Okay. I still watch Parks and Rec. Perfect show to have on in the background while I work.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec is a good show. I agree with that. I just put on Seinfeld as background noise as I work on my laptop. Seinfeld's funny in some places. I think it's one of the most overrated shows ever.
Yeah.
But that's just me. You know, I'm just saying. Couple more, then we got to roll. Jeremy Bolton, if you're dipping anything in blue cheese, you're Al Qaeda. Totally agree. Totally agree. Kim Coulter, Monty, how about The Old Man with Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow? Haven't seen it. Have not seen it. Can never get enough of Lebowski, though.
What did Ferris say right there? 2 up right there? Right there?
The YouTube professional food hacker shows how you can get a super deluxe chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A for under $5. But you got to get it during breakfast, though, and order bun on the side.
Yeah. I know that's a big thing now. Like people, we saw that with Chipotle at one point. There was like a, hey, order a quesadilla, like deconstructed, and you get more food or something.
Right.
Yeah. That's been like a thing.
Gabriel says, hey, Chubbs, LOL. Exactly. Kim Coulter, Zona. Okay. Never tried blue cheese. Never will.
Nah,
ever.
dude,
Ever.
Nah.
Ever.
Even if there's a fire.
Roche says American Primeval. Okay.
Dude, I watched one episode of that. Didn't get into it.
I can't stand the smell of blue cheese. Neither can I.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
Oh. Reg Kingdom, go Chiefs. It's hysterical that you're now a Chiefs fan.
He's saying that he's been a Chiefs fan for a long time. That's what he's claiming.
When did he say that?
He's been tweeting pictures at us and stuff. He said that he's been a Chiefs fan a long time.
You guys also stop DMing me on Twitter, and I don't read my notifications or my DMs on Twitter. Very rarely. Very, very rarely. Gabriel, I used to watch every single NBA game back then, but now I can barely watch TV games. It's tough. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't have a reason why. I really don't.
I think it's because the younger generation, the Tatum generation, the Anthony Edwards generation, there's no rivalries. There's no heat. There's no bad blood. Like there's nothing that holds you.
Yeah. Like The Neighborhood. You mean the show. Okay. I'm so happy the Mavs are playing well as they are without Luka, hoping he gets well soon. Go Mavs. Okay.
Yeah, you better enjoy that and we haven't been able to get to the Heat situation, but the Heat are allegedly going to go after Luka in 26.
I've been working through the Debbie Does series, but it's a slow go.
Stay hard,
dude.
Only getting through about 5 minutes at a time.
Bro, how do you do it, bro? And I'm assuming you watch 21 episodes a month, right? That's what this is, right? I mean, honest to God, how do you do this?
21.
Can you do? No.
Can you do something for me?
I've never. I was reading an article about yesterday. I was reading an article about what men spend time on. Do you understand how much time men spend on porn? I am amazed by this. And Mrs. Monty and I joke about like my Instagram suggestion feed.
Yeah.
Is all TNA. It's all cleavage and bikinis and
Macaque.
I am amazed. Men spend as much as 29% of their free time watching porn.
That's wild.
29% of your life is watching pornography.
I mean,
Smiles and glory holes.
How is that possible? I don't know. First of all, where am I getting 29% of my day to strengthen my forearm? Like
How much is 29% of a 16-hour day? Like,
and how do you like? Are you paying for that? Like,
bro, that's almost 5 hours of your awake time.
Yeah.
5 hours.
Yes. And you know what the crazy thing is? As millennials are aging, the top end of the millennial curve leads that pornography push.
Bro.
And the other part that's crazy, men in their 50s are a growing category of pornography watchers.
Did
That's
the article
wild
say
to
why?
me. That's no. Well, okay. Sports on TV is number one in your free time.
Mm-hmm.
Sports on TV. Number two, which I think is crazy, is pornography of your free time.
I have to imagine, and again, this is just speculation, but I have to imagine a lot of dudes are just bored. I mean, I
think that's absolutely true.
It can only be that, dude.
Idle hands do devil's work, dude. I'm telling you.
I mean, I just don't know what, because like I'm sitting here, like you're talking about this, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, well, gosh, like, what free time do I really have when you really look at it? Like, I've got
crazy,
like, and it's the same for you, but we've got like 2 hours, 3 hours at most. If I want to stretch out my evening during the week, it's 3 hours,
dude. If you look at my day, I get up at it's weird. I wake up at 4:06 every day. My alarm is set to go off at 4:20. Maybe 3 times a month I sleep until my alarm goes off. I'm up at 4:20. I get right in the shower. I'm like clockwork. I get out of the shower at 4:29 every morning. I am dressed and ready to go 10 minutes after that. Brush my teeth, like whatever. 10 minutes after that, I'm in my studio by, I don't know. I could be in my studio as early as 4:45 every day. But what I've learned to do is to slow play that period, because I am alone almost never.
Yeah.
I am never at home by myself, not busy.
Right.
I am never in the studio alone. I am never at the gym. I'm almost never alone. That period from 4:41 until 5 a.m.
Yeah. It's a twilight zone.
I try to sit in the dark and I try not to be on my phone. Today I ordered a wrist brace because I'm having wrist tendonitis from golf.
Can you golf with that while you're wearing it or no?
I'm not gonna. I don't know if you can, or I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
But my point is,
yeah,
in my day, from the time I get out of bed until 1 o'clock ish, I am booked solid.
Yeah.
1 to usually 1:30, I have lunch. From 1:30, and when I get back into making calls and doing business, and 1:30 to 6 o'clock at night, booked. 6 o'clock to usually 8:15, time with my wife. When am I going to carve out
5 hours, bro?
And listen, my point is, if you're spending 5 hours on adult content, do you know what you're not doing? And listen, I understand that. I don't know. What are you, 3 minutes in a bang? Like, what are you doing for the other 57 minutes an hour if you're watching 5 hours of porn?
I don't
think guys watch. I can't believe somebody watches 5 hours of porn a day.
I don't think that's the majority.
But let's say that you're watching an hour.
Yeah.
What are you doing for the other 10 minutes?
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. It is crazy to me that we watch that much time of pornography.
Yeah.
I don't know where you get that much time. I'm 52 and I am solely focused on making as much money in the next 5 years as I can possibly make, because I want to retire. I'm not spending an hour, 5 hours, 10 minutes on pornography.
Yeah.
I think it erodes your motivation. I think it's not very good for your marriage. Like, I just think there's so many scientifically proven bad results out of pornography. I don't understand what we're doing with that.
Yeah.
We spend most of our days, by the way, are spent sleeping, working, watching your phone, pornography, and then whatever else your hobbies are.
Yeah.
Almost in that order. It's crazy to me. Jeremy Bolton, noise, doing an AA run approach of darkness, dude. Do you know how we talked about this like a year ago. And Jeremy, you probably remember this. You've been around a long time, but do you know how little quiet time we have in our lives?
Never.
If you've got kids and you're married, you have zero quiet time.
Yeah.
I'm a guy, I love spending time with my wife. I miss the days when we both worked at home, and I get almost no quiet time. And there's a lot of days, like if I take a lunch break, I want to take a nap. I don't. I'll go for a walk instead. Because I know if I take a 20-minute nap, I'm going to be dead to the world for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
But that time from 4:40 to 5 o'clock in the morning, when it is pitch black and dead silent, it is incredible how important it is. Stretch your hands, Monty. Well, I'm working on it for wrist tendonitis. Noel, my free time is spent with my girlfriend. Same.
Legit.
My personal opinion is that while some parts is addiction and another part is loneliness, I strongly believe that mental health plays a role in chronic watching of pornography. I don't disagree with you. I think we are, and the studies are out there. There's 1,000 of them. Again, we've talked about it on the show. As men, we are as lonely now as we have ever been. As human beings, we are as lonely now as we have ever been. Our young people have never recovered the ability to talk face-to-face 1v1. There are so many people. There was a new study released that I was going to talk about, but didn't get around to it. There are more millennials. What's the generation behind millennials?
Gen Z.
Gen Z. There are more Gen Z and millennials in unhappy relationships because they settled. There's a study about one of the things was how did you end up in this relationship and are you happy? I can't remember what the exact verbiage is. I was tired of the bar scene. I was tired of dating apps. I settled. Let that sink in.
Yeah,
Gen Z and millennials, I settled.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people...
It's wild.
It's hard, man. Like, I think people are it's not built in the life anymore just to run into somebody. That's not how the world works anymore. And I think that
I don't know about that.
Well, that's your opinion.
I don't think that we communicate.
Right. So whatever the reason is,
you meet people every day. Go to the store, go to the gym, go for a walk. Like, the problem is, when you look at Gen Z and millennials or people in general, when you walk by somebody, how many times do you make eye contact? It's pretty rare. Especially if you're a male, how many times does a woman look you in the eye?
Never. Very rarely.
We don't communicate anymore. We yell and scream at each other. We honk our horns. We don't have the ability, whether it's politics or what's for dinner, we don't have the ability to have an open, honest discussion. And so Gen Z and millennials settle, not because you don't have opportunities, because you don't know how to do something other than get on an app and meet somebody and judge them on their pictures. I don't think there's any question we've lost the intimacy in our human relationships. And I know that probably sounds awkward, and we've lost the intimacy, the closeness, the one-to-one communication. Like in Chipotle last weekend before the Ravens choked on a D. I was talking to this guy and his kid who were wearing Lamar Jackson jerseys. And the kid was hiding behind his dad because I was sitting at a table at a Chipotle eating a burrito. And the kid walked up in the table next to us wearing a Lamar Jackson jersey. It was like, nice jersey, dude. Got to get a big win today. And the dad was like, yeah, and we started talking about Lamar Jackson. But that kid, who wasn't a toddler, he was like 12 years old, was super shy and didn't want to talk about it. And I think that's emblematic of how our kids are now. And we don't socialize. I feel like we're talking about our dogs. We don't socialize our kids anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So is what it is, you know. You keep talking about quiet time. What is that? Yeah, you've got kids and a wife and a job, and right? Like we all have so many other these things going on. Anime. That's true about the mental health thing. Totally. I think we burrow ourselves into depression and we build up these stories in our head that create anxiety, and then what does that do? That insulates us. We pull further and further away from our circle of humanity. And so we wind up isolating ourselves, especially work from home culture. Work from home culture, as great as it is to work from home. And I love people and respect you all that have the opportunity. It is isolating. We're all over Google chats and Zooms, and you know what I mean? Like, You'd up fan Jim, my free time is spent with these two dudes I hardly know. Exactly right.
Right.
Take a Waymo, you'll definitely feel loneliness in the car. Bro, my guy Paul Hosley in San Francisco put a video up of a Waymo.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, really? That's why divorce and cheating is up at an all-time high as well. I think divorce will always be at an all-time high.
Yeah.
JC, no people run to social media and dating apps to replace people. So you're saying no, they do not do that? Because I got news for you. That's all they do.
What's his next comment say right there?
I agree, Jake. In my younger dating life, to get a girl, lady, you had to call a landline and talk to a parent or relative to ask to talk to said person.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just think I'm not disagreeing with what, you're saying about it. I don't disagree. Millennials and Gen Z grew up in a time when, my generation was the last generation not to be 5 years old with a cell phone in our hand, right? Like I didn't have a phone until I was like 10 or maybe 13, like something like that. So like Gen Zers have a phone or a tablet in their hand at 4 or 5 years old. It's what they come to know.
No. Why do they have a tablet in their hand when they're a kid? Oh, because they're crying and they're just restless. And we as parents put tablets in our toddlers' hands.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that. I'm telling you. Go to the dog park. You want to get laid? Go to the dog park. Go to the dog park. Trust me. What are you talking about? I worked at a hospital in Kansas City from 2020 to 2022. I bought a KC jacket in Arrowhead. Okay. Cool. That's neat. Have a good day, dudes. Great show. Thanks. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I just think that's the whole thing of it. And this thing right here, interesting story to end the show today, coupled with this communication isolation thing. Did you guys see that it used to be that you could hang out at a Starbucks without having to buy anything? You could go in there, have a business meeting, and no problem, right? Like, no big deal. I don't understand why people want to hang out at Starbucks.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the free Wi-Fi. That's why people want to go in there. I mean, I remember when the pandemic hit, when we first, when we were transitioning to, a work from home environment during the pandemic. Like, I remember people were masking up, and still hanging out at Starbucks because it had free Wi-Fi. And Starbucks' angle was, hey, if people are hanging out, they're likely going to buy something at some point.
Well, Starbucks is going through big changes. So they are going back to a couple of policies that I think make a lot of sense, because pre-pandemic, you could have business meetings there, and now they want you to spend money, right? So you're going to be able to get a, quote, elevated cafe experience for people who want to sit inside of a Starbucks. Mobile app orders have become something of an Achilles heel for Starbucks because people don't go into the stores anymore. Their cup sales, your Starbucks cup, have plummeted, as an example. A pilot program being introduced using an algorithm to address these bottlenecks of demand, freeing up baristas for moments of connections with customers both coming into the store and picking up their to-go drinks. They're going to give you the opportunity to get free refills. Now, are you into free refills? Really nice in-cafe customers will call it a mug hug. They're like holding onto that ceramic mug. They'll enjoy their moment in the cafe, and they're not all this congestion surrounding the counter.
Mm-hmm.
So they want you to go in, hang out at Starbucks, drink the coffee you bought there, have business meetings, and reconnect with your friends in person.
Yeah.
Free refills are going to become a staple again.
Mm-hmm.
Baristas forming relationship with customers is going to become a staple. And what's one of the main crowds Starbucks is targeting?
Gen Z.
First dates.
Yeah.
They want you to go to Starbucks and have a first date. And I think it's exactly what we need. And I'll tell you, about a month ago now, 3 weeks ago, I had a great business meeting at a Starbucks. Right? And I think that in-person connection, now the quademic and the flu, and get your flu shots.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think we need to get back out in person.
Yeah.
I think going to Starbucks and hanging out is not what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be doing that. But I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the fear of getting sick, the fear of pandemics breaking out, COVID was just such a dark time, and I think people are terrified of it. And I think depending on who you are, how old you are, what your health is like, I think that really affects people. People are nervous to get sick now. It used to be, I got a cold, no big deal. I'll be out for a day or two. We'll be back, and now it's like, hey, you get sick, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
I think you're probably going to hang out at Starbucks, because I think if you're going to give me a free refill, I'll go to I don't drink coffee, but you're going to refill my hot chocolate? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see, like Mrs. Monty and I are going to Seattle. I'm not going to go hang out at Starbucks.
Mm.
Going to go to the Symphony. Going to have great meals. Going to take a ferry ride. I'm not going to hang out at Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much upside potential there is for Starbucks.
I think there's a lot. They just gotta get that fire lit. They need it to go viral on social media, and they need to do a whole thing.
Yeah. Who knew that selling coffee cups was big business for Starbucks?
Yeah.
The Monty Show, presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, where you get clear, risk-free advice 24/7, 365, San Diego, Las Vegas, Phoenix, anywhere you are. The Advocates are ready to serve you at theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.